So you want to own a YouTube channel. You don't. You rent space on someone else's land. You built on it. You plant crops. You water them every single week. And when harvest time comes, the landlord takes 60% off the top. The rest, that's your. Maybe if the algorithm feels generous that day. YouTube pulled in $36 billion in advertising revenue last year. The people who actually made the content, the ones who filmed, edited script, and uploaded every single video that kept those ads running, split roughly 18 billion between them. Sounds fair until you do the math. 18 billion divided across 50 million active creators. The average working YouTubers take home less than $400 a year. The platform is worth an estimated or $100 billion. The creators who built it, they own none of it. This is the YouTube paradox, and once you see the architecture underneath it, you cannot unsee it. So let's talk about what it actually costs to get into this business. At the bottom of the stack, you have the bedroom creator. Phone camera, free editing software, a ring light from a discount store, total capital outlay. Under $500. This person is competing against channels with full production studios. They upload 3 times a week for 8 months before their first monetization check clears. That check is usually between $1 and $3. This is not an exaggeration. Move up. Mid tier. A creator who has cracked 10,000 subscribers has basic gear, a mirrorless camera, a decent microphone, a subscription to Adobe, and is spending roughly 8 to 15 hours per video. Totally monthly production cost in time and software will be easily $600 to $1,000 equivalent in labor. Monthly AdSense revenue at this level will be $200 to $800. The math is underwater. Most people at this tier are subsidizing YouTube with their own time and money. Now the top tier, a channel doing 5 million views per month, a small team, professional thumbnails, scripted content, a dedicated editor. Monthly operating cost will be around $15 to $40,000 in real salaries, equipment, depreciation, software, and studio overhead. Monthly revenue from AdSense alone at that scale will be $20 to $60,000. This is where it finally becomes a business. But notice, you needed to survive years of negative return to reach it. Most people do not. The entry cost to YouTube is deceptively low. That is precisely why it is so dangerous. Here is how the revenue machine actually works and why it was never designed with you in mind. YouTube sells advertising inventory, not your content. Your content is the container. The ad is the product. Every time someone watches a video, YouTube auctions off that viewer's attention to the highest bidding advertiser in real time. The creator gets a cut of whatever that auction clears. The key metric is CPM, cost per thousand impressions, what an advertiser pays YouTube for 1,000 views. And then there is the RPM, revenue per thousand views, which is what the creator actually receives after YouTube takes its 45% platform fee. Here is where it gets clinical. CPM is not set by you, it is set by the advertiser market. A video about personal finance, tech software, or B2B service might command a CPM of $15 to $40 because financial advertisers pay enormous premiums. A gaming video, a vlog, a reaction channel, CPM of $1 to $3. Same effort, same hours in the edit, radically different economics purely because of who the advertiser wants to reach. You do not choose your CPM, YouTube's auction does. There is another layer. Ad revenue disappears on certain topics. Profanity, controversy, sensitive news, even certain health discussions. These trigger what creators call demonetization. Your video still gets views. YouTube still collects data on those views, but the ad inventory runs at a massive discount, or not at all, and the creator receives almost nothing. The platform profits from the attention regardless. The creator absorbs the full downside. This is not a bug. It is the operating model. Now look at the physical architecture of what you actually own or think you own. Your YouTube channel is a storefront on a rented street in a mall. You do not build, do not control, and can be evacuated from without notice. The terms of service reserves YouTube's right to terminate any account, demonetize any video, or alter the revenue share at any point, for any reason with minimal recourse. The recommendation algorithm, the system that determines whether your content gets shown to new viewers or buried, is a black box. Nobody outside Google's engineering team fully understands it. It changes constantly. Channels that spent years mastering one version of the algorithm have been wiped out overnight by a single update. Entire content categories that once generated millions of monthly views simply stopped being promoted. The creators in those categories had built their entire income infrastructure on a foundation they did not own and could not inspect. This is the hidden liability nobody calculates when they start a channel. Your subscriber count means almost nothing. YouTube does not guarantee that your subscriber sees your content. The platform decides reach. The platform decides monetization eligibility. The platform decides what is advertiser friendly on any given week. You supply the raw material, you absorb all the production costs, you carry all the creative risk. The platform captures the asset appreciation. A landlord that also controls your foot traffic, your storefront visibility, your pricing, and your lease terms simultaneously. That is the operational reality of building on YouTube. Two case studies, both real, both instructive. The first, Machinima. At its peak in the early 2010s, Machinima was the largest gaming channel network on YouTube. Over 12 billion total views, a multi-channel network representing hundreds of creators, and a valuation that attracted serious venture capital. The business model was straightforward. Aggregate creator content, sell advertising at scale, take a revenue share. It collapsed because the entire structure was built on contracted creators who produced content at fixed revenue splits. That became catastrophically unprofitable as YouTube's own algorithm began favoring individual creators over network aggregators. The ad revenue per view dropped. The creator contracts were fixed. The overhead did not shrink. By 2019, AT&T, which had acquired the parent company, quietly shut Machinima down entirely. 12 billion views, zero residual value. The second, the 2017 Apocalypse, not a single company, an industry-wide event. Brand safety concerns triggered a mass advertiser exodus from YouTube after major brands discovered their ads were running alongside extremist content. YouTube's response was a sweeping algorithmic and policy overhaul that demonetized or severely restricted thousands of channels overnight. Creators who had built stable six-figure businesses on the platform watched their monthly revenue drop 60 to 90% in weeks. They had no contracts, no guarantees, no insurance, no recourse. The platform had changed the terms of the lease while they were still living in the house. Capital risk in both cases was not debt or over leveraging. It was dependency, total structural irreversible dependency on a single platform that owed them nothing legally. So what is the actual question here? YouTube, the business, is equals to advertising auction infrastructure plus data collection at the scale plus creator subsidized content production at zero acquisition cost. YouTube, the creator economy, is equals to high variance, platform dependent revenue with no asset ownership, no contractual protection, and a median annual income that sits below the poverty line in most Western countries. The net margin for a top tier individual creator runs between 15 and 35% after production costs, taxes, and platform fees. If they have diversified into sponsorships, memberships, and merchandise, AdSense alone must almost never clears 20% at sustainable scale. The person who mastered the system was not a creator, it was Susan Wojcicki, who leased her garage to Larry Page and Sergey Brin in 1998. Giant Google championed the YouTube acquisition in 2006 for $1.665 billion dollars and spent the next 17 years as the CEO building the infrastructure that turned other people's creativity labor into the most valuable video advertising platform in the human history. She did not make content, she owned the land. Every creator grinding out uploads three times a week is farming someone else's soil, paying rent in the form of attention, data, and creative output, and calling it entrepreneurship. The platform wins, the advertiser wins, the creator walks.